What's up, everybody? How's it going? Notifications are out. We can do a little bit of light here. Or would that work better? What's up, TJ, Kimberly Richards, Daniel Adami, Alan Bequet, Eric Vaquero, Jonathan Wheeler, what's up? What is up, everybody? Haven't gone live in a minute. Been kind of quiet. Elizabeth, what's up? Elizabeth, what is up? So, I figure we go live. I got a 2-hour wait before I can deliver. Salty Pirate, Firebird, Almond Chimera. Your load canceled on you, Blue Shoe. What's up? Tex, is Tex in here? I didn't see Tex. My light just went. Weird. I got this cool light from Tough Tested at Matt's. And yep, I am burning the night oil. Pale Rider, what's up? Yeah, Tex, that's weird. That's how massive the place is. I know you were walking everywhere and I was walking everywhere and we never even saw each other. How's the weather in Missouri? The weather in Missouri is awesome. It's right now it's like 50 degrees. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But check out this light. So it goes red, then it goes white, and then it goes red, and then it goes red, white, and then we're done. And that's how much charge it has. Pretty cool. And then does that. Wait, no, did that wrong. There. It does that, then that, then that. Oh. Anyways, Alan Bequet, what's up? You were running everywhere. I know you. 39 degrees in Virginia. Jonathan, it was snowing in Ohio Sunday. It was. I saw some of that. I was in Ohio Sunday night. Brent in Florida, what's up? Currently in Lafayette, Indiana for AM delivery. You and I probably crossed paths somewhere. Harold's having a seizure. You're blind, Rican. I'm sorry. But people complain when it's too dark, so let me grab my other tough tested. I can't even talk. Here, we'll put that there. So, anyways, let's talk about Matt's. Sorry I missed everyone. I was too cheap to spend the money to go. I seen everyone had a good time. It was a good time. Nothing in you. What part of Ohio? I was in Wapakoneta, and then I picked up in Lima. And I think I got down to Greenfield, Indiana, and then did the rest of the trip. I delivered at 11:30, and he said at 11:15 I can go to the door. They've already given me a door, but you know, so we'll see. But I'll get my 2-hour break because tomorrow I might have to do an 8-2 split. So we'll see. Yukon, what's up? Lady Trucker 81, how's it going? It snowed in Charlotte this afternoon. That's weird. Yeah, man, winter's holding on tight. You know, it's kind of like a killer in an 80s horror film. You know, you just can't quite die. That's what winter is. But Matt's was fun. Got to hang out with everybody except for Tex because I didn't see him, but he was working too hard anyways. I know Little Guy was there, but I never saw him. And the last day was kind of ruined because of the rain. So We were all hanging out in the trailer until the cold front moved through. That created some massive thunderstorms, and then after that it was super cold. And then it was like 20 degrees when we all woke up the next morning. Wilbur, hey, man, how's it hanging? I'm doing all right. You're a commoner. Yeah. Hey, I'm in Florida too, but the rates suck, so I don't go down there. They're not paying enough to go to Florida. Usually you can make your money going in, but that's been a challenge here. He forgot his stepladder, so he was below everyone's eye level. What are you talking about? But other than that, man, I'm just killing time here. You guys want to chat about anything? Any questions you have about mats? I got my right way scale system, but I haven't got it put on yet. That was the only thing I bought from the show. Normally it was $225. I got it for $180, $178 and some change. So I figured, why not buy something that will save me money and be an investment towards the trailer? So it'll be good. Oh, little guy, okay. You have family in Lima, all right. I go in, not out. Yeah. Florida's, it used to be Florida, you got $3 a mile, and now I'm not seeing that. Every now and then you'll see one, but, you definitely take a hit coming out. I had quite the temp spread in Greenville, Mississippi earlier this week. Arrived at 2 a.m. 39 degree, departed. It was 83. Yep. Are those scales any good? Fireburn? I don't know. I mean, Harold and James have them, and they like them, so I figure why not. Yeah, I should do. I'll do a little report on it. Basically, it's a suspension gauge for the trailer, and the times when you kind of got to guess, it kind of helps for that. I know Prime puts them on their trailers, and a couple other companies might. I think Jeff's got the digital version where you get a digital readout on your Bluetooth, but I got the old-fashioned just suspension gauge, and it does it in pounds instead of PSI, so it makes it a little bit easier to read. They also sell one for the truck that is a pound instead of PSI. So, but I didn't buy any shirts. I didn't really get a whole bunch of free stuff. I got like maybe 10 pens, a free t-shirt from Convoy. I did get a windshield cover for free, and it's nice, man. It covers the whole windshield, which is hard to find with these 680s. What else did I get? Oh, and a bunch of hats. I got a bunch of hats. I got hats from Comdata, Pilot, Flying J, Green Miles. That was the first hat I got. And what was the other one? There's doing the truck or just trailer? No, it's on the trailer wheel. I've got a suspension gauge in the truck, but basically, Harold kind of showed me how his worked, and you basically go back. It's in a compartment, and you look at it, and and you got to calibrate it with a heavy load. No, it's different, Firebird. The one that Jeff has is right. I forget the difference. This one's called Right Way, but I know that one that Jeff has is different, I think. Appway, maybe that's what it is. Rican says as long as you don't have an air leak like I did, they're great. Yeah, when in doubt, always set your drives heavy, right? Truck Review Channel. I was hoping to see you at Matt's, but we never crossed paths. The right way is best used to keep from scaling the iffy loads that you get the scale ticket and slap yourself for wasting the money on a scale. Right. That's how Harold explained it. Once he explained it like that, I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and get one. But that's it. I mean, saw a lot of people I haven't seen in since GATS, and met a couple of YouTubers that I haven't met before. I ran into Make Sense. I ran into Trucker Rudy, Trucker Jukebox, Anthony Newhouse, Um, that's the only YouTubers I really ran into. We were in bed, yeah. You only spent $23 last month on scales. I've been doing a lot of heavy loads here lately. Normally, you know, TJ did a good video earlier, which he took down about, some of the stuff that we have to do to survive out here, and with the lower weight rates. And he talked about support systems. And I guarantee you that if I call Jeff and say that I can't find the load, he's going to find like literally 20 loads. And he'll tell me how I need to run or some ideas, and like trucking, we're always bouncing ideas off each other. James runs different than Harold. Harold runs different than me. We all have different needs, different situations, but I guarantee that if I call Jeff, he's going to send me about 20 loads. And what it boils down to is the pickier you are, the harder it's going to be to survive. And and a lot of times I used to just, like, I even put the dashboard filter that, nothing over 38, and I've taken that filter away. I've done a lot more heavy loads here lately just to keep moving, and it's worked. March was actually a really good month for me. Jeff and I were talking about that earlier. He was telling me how well I was doing. He kind of gave me a strategy on my IFTA, because I owe a little bit on my IFTA this quarter, and how I could do that differently, and so yeah, there's that. Yeah, Trucker Jim. I forgot about him. Yeah, Trucker Jim. And if you're watching, Jim, I'm sorry. But yeah, Trucker Jim and Blackbeard. Yeah, those are the other YouTubers. I guess I don't know why I blanked them out. I apologize, guys. Trucker Jim, that's the first real time I've talked to him. I saw him at GATS, but I didn't really say anything to him. And he was looking thinner than he was at GATS, because he's done the keto thing. And then Blackbeard, he parked next to us. I got some of him on, some of his situation on film. I like the color of Blackbeard's truck. It's got that sparkly brown that's really good. Heavy metallic. So, well, good deal, TJ. Been away from the house 8 days. Get home tomorrow. I feel like a truck driver or something, right? Going back to your roots there, Tex. On a single unit, right way is fabulous. On a big trailer pull at mega carrier, not so good. Too many people screwing with settings. That's true, Anthony. I don't scale. I haven't scaled in months. Do you get all your loads from the dashboard, or do you use others? I'm limited to Landstar. Truckers Table, I use DAT 123, and then I use apps like Uber, Convoy, Coyote, CH Robinson. And I know you're paying with the Landstar load board. Landstar has a load board for us. You can't see the rates, but it gives you the phone numbers of the agents that have these loads. I'm always gun shy about Landstar, because I've never been able to get a good rate from them, because when you're dealing with a lot of third-party logistics, you can usually find the root load where they're grabbing it, and you can usually get a better rate. But if you can find the Landstar agent that has direct freight, that's the way to go. Because then, the cut, they're not cutting it as much. But yeah, I definitely now what a lot of people don't know about Landstar is that you can, if let's say you look at, you find a load on a load board, you call a Landstar agent and see if they can book that load for you. And a lot of people don't know that. I did that once. I was trying to get a load home, And I knew about these loads that came out of Oklahoma that went to Springfield. And so the agent who we just went, you know, she was bending over backwards for me because the last load got screwed up. So I told her to look for this particular load on this particular place, and she found it. She looked up the carrier that had it, who I knew, and they said that they met all of Landstar's criteria, and then she booked it, and I got home without having to pay for fuel. So a lot of people don't know that about Landstar. Kevin and Ollie. Yeah, Kevin and Ollie was there. Harold's going to go to bed. So is Brent. You have to keep tabs on which states you need to fuel in or to be equal out, correct? Right. What it boiled down to is I was not fueling enough in Indiana, and I was fueling a little bit too much in Missouri. And so the fuel tax is high in Indiana. So the more I fuel in Indiana, the better my IFTA will be. Schneider has a low board as well for outside carriers. Yes, and Rican, they've got a deal now where you can almost like click and go. It's not mobile friendly yet, but they're getting there. You got to be choosy or you go broke. These brokers will almost always go up some. It'll create and show you will not run for cheap. Yeah, I agree, but you know, by picky I mean picky on where you go. You know, if you, for me, if you pick nothing but light loads, you're limiting yourself. If you pick only a certain area, you're limiting yourself. You know, if you take a load out to California from, say, the Midwest, and you want to go directly east, you're not going to find a whole lot of loads going east. So in that case, you're kind of limited. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just want to zigzag and go anywhere you want, you can make a lot of money. The less picky you are, the more money you stand to make. Now, you got to stand your ground on the rates and all that. But, you know, if you do this whole, well, I don't pull this, I don't do that, I don't do this, I don't go here, I don't go there, the more you limit yourself, you know, the worse it gets. Charles Anderson, it was nice to meet you all at Matt's. Very cool, very cool. Are you the Schneider driver that was next to us? I can't remember your last name. Kimasabi, it was good hanging out. Thomas Wilson is back. Anything that pays. You go north and east. Right. And you know, and a lot of times you kind of link up. You know, where a lot of limitations are is if you need a specific load going to a specific place. Like the load home. That can limit you. You know, so you could be in Columbus where there's 500 loads, but if you need one that goes to, say, you know, Dallas, Texas, well, you know, now that 500 is down to 20. Yep. All right. Cool. Yeah, it was good meeting you, Charles. How do you think it will affect freight if Trump shuts the border down? Jonathan, I don't know. I mean, I'm done speculating anything. That will definitely make things interesting, but I have no idea. I'm done speculating. I spent all of last year speculating and listening to other people speculate. And, you know, oh, rates will come up here, and rates will go this, and rates will do that, and load volume should come up here, but it won't there, you know, and in every circumstance it was wrong, you know, when, you know, if you're sitting at home waiting for rates to come up before you move your truck, you're going to be waiting a while. I don't think they're going to come up drastically. You know, it's not like, you know, April 1st, then, you know, it opens up. And it's going to get ugly. I mean, you know, I'm already seeing some people drop off. I mean, you know, but I think the key is consistency. I know people with that are doing well with contract freight, and that's kind of where it's at, you know. Not enough to make up for sitting, that's for sure. Right, Rican. It will definitely affect reefer, says TJ. TJ, you run a reefer or dry van? But guys, I'm not a freight guru. I'm not an expert. You know, I'm learning and making mistakes just like anybody else. This load I'm delivering tonight is not the best load. Rate wise, it's okay. Quite a bit of deadhead on it. I kind of panicked. I got impatient on a load coming out of Louisville. Harold and Rican got really good loads coming out of there. Not really good, but I mean good loads out of there, out of the convention center. And had I waited, I could have been one of them. So, but you know, you live and learn. He had to bail on the spot market, trading freedom for consistency. Bo Miles, I agree. You know, when I went from Landstar to Snyder, I got consistency, even though the rates were about the same, if not a little bit lower. And in the spot market world, you have to figure out what creates that. There I go again. I hate saying that. You have to. You know, you do what you want. But for me, I found that I had to find a way to create consistency. And just when you figure that out, it changes. You know, I found out today that a broker that I use for loads all the time out of a certain area lost that contract. So now I got to find the broker that has it, number one. And number two, I know it's going to be a lower rate because this broker gave me decent rates for this stuff. And so if they got underbid, guess what? They're not going to be decent anymore. So that kind of bumps me out because this is something that I utilized all the time. So that's, you know, just when you figure something out, it changes. So for me, figuring out how can I create consistency in the spot market, and you know, treating a couple of the click and goes and one or two brokers. I've literally pulled for a total of 4 brokers in the last month. You know, it seemed like every other day I was throwing Jeff a new carrier packet, and I think we only had to fill out 1 in the month of March for me, anyways. Is $2 a mile to the truck a decent rate? Yeah, especially if you're at Landstar. I'm a company driver with just over a year experience and was just curious as to what you and the others' thoughts were about it. Yeah, I don't know, Jonathan. I really don't know. Big Tex, what's up? Mexican and Canadian drivers take loads away from us for cheaper rates. I did OK load out of Vegas trade show to Kent, Washington, paid $225 a mile, then Kent to Idaho for 1,300, 438 miles. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think TJ, you run the Pacific Northwest, and I think that you know the area so well, and the rates are good up there, and you know, and like fuel's higher there. You know, you're dealing with more mountains, and so you kind of need a higher rate up there. You know, it's a lot harder to run in, say, you know, Utah or Idaho than it is, you know, Georgia or Illinois. You know, definitely more wear and tear on the truck. And I used to run out there a lot when I was a company driver. I used to do loads from Kansas City to Salt Lake all the time, and I loved it out there. But it's definitely, you know, it's definitely more, in my opinion. It's been slow still at the Intermodal Rail Yard. Yep. Thomas says he drives for free. Now, I doubt that. You know, unless you're grabbing the mobile home or the motor home and taking it to Talladega, which is the Talladega race coming up, Thomas. It'll be interesting to see what it's like with the lack of restrictor plates that they got going on in NASCAR. But, you know, it's one of the things that a person could do is, you know, start cutting your costs, trim the fat a little bit, see where you can do better, you know, try to string loads a little bit better. You know, for me, I had to close all my gaps. And once I closed my gaps, I was doing okay. 3 weeks. Iowa lowest fuel is in Oregon is 263. In Hermiston, Ohio, it's 280. In Utah, it's 243 at Sat Brothers. Yeah, I wouldn't feel Washington either. You're Washington waxing the motor coach today. Chills are out in strong force today. But not sure why, but you know, whatever. But you know, we had fun at Matt's, and a lot of people tried to tempt me with a lot of food. There's a lot of pizza, a lot of donuts. Uber only knows how to make sandwiches. You know, the convention food was kind of, eh. But, you know, it's convention center food. What do you expect? Will I be at GATS? Big Tex Trucker. It all depends. I was disciplined for Matt's. Last year at GATS, I took a hit on revenue. A hit of revenue that I really couldn't afford. And so I kind of regret. Like, half of me had fun at GATS and it was cool. But the other half of me was like, maybe that wasn't such a great idea. And, you know, there's the, you know, my goal is to try to get down to 240 pounds by GATS. So I might have to be there to do a weigh-in. I'm working on a couple of deals that might require me to be there. But for the most part, it just depends. I mean, that's early yet. I mean, that's, what, April, May, June, July, August? It's 5 months away. A lot can happen in 5 months. So I'll think about it, you know. But it's too early to say whether I'll be there or not. And if I am, it'll be with a purpose. You know, it won't be because, you know, I just want to get a bunch of free pens and stuff. Uber and their white bread and bologna sandwiches and mustard only. Your side choices are plain barbecue. They had some good food in a way, TJ. Uber does really good, man. They spend a lot of money at these shows. At GATS, they had this, you know, you went to this bar and grill place. I forget what the name of it was. And they had live, like Tony Justice was playing live. And they had barbecue and free beer. And, you know, it was a whole thing. But I should have offered you a salad. We packed lunch because the food there was junk. I appreciate that, Charles. You know, I was prepared. I had food in the cooler in the fridge. And Kemosabe ordered pizza for everyone and got me, and then Anthony Blackbeard, both Kemosabe and Anthony Blackbeard got me wings. And then the guys went to Little Caesars on, what was it, Thursday? And they got me wings. So I was taken care of. I think it was, you know, I even like took 2 slices of pizza, took toppings off, threw the crust away, which is a keto trick, by the way. But the only thing that I had at the truck show that was actually good was I had a beef brisket salad, but it was a $21 freaking salad. I mean, crazy prices. You know, $4 for a bottle of water. Oh, it's all right, TJ. I can understand the mixed feelings, which you need more, fun or income. Right, and big techs, I wasn't planning on going to Matt's. I mean, I had my ticket, I was registered, but it was down to the last minute. I think the Friday before the show, like the Friday before the Wednesday that we were going to be at the show. That's when I made the decision to get a load going that direction. That's how close it got. And because I felt that I couldn't justify taking 4 days off if I didn't deserve it for myself and for like trucking. You're right, I did get robbed. And that was one of the meal selections. I mean, I think the salad was like, 21 minus 8. That's how much the salad was. I bought 2 bottles of water and threw one in my bag so I can have it for later. But but that's how it is. The choices were limited for a person who's trying to avoid carbs, and I wasn't able to avoid them completely. Um, one of the times I had covered barbecue sauce flavored chicken, and I was trying to scrape as much of the sauce off as I can, because I just didn't want to feel like crap. Yeah, I hear you, Trucker's Table. Yeah, Charles, I did that when Jeff and 123 Lowboard and Thunder Funding took us out for dinner, I believe Friday night, and that's what I did. I ordered like a pulled pork sandwich without the bun, without bread, and then some collard greens, and I wasn't paying for it, so it was good. It was spicy, man. Food was spicy in this joint. Big Tex, you're gonna plan on being there Friday? That's cool. It's about time someone took him out. But we'll see what Gats brings. You always take a hit coming out of Dallas, always. And I think that's the key, is getting your loads set up before. But anything else you guys want to talk about? It was good seeing everybody. It was. And I think I surprised a few people with my weight loss. And I think I'm up to 5 thumbs down for the people who don't like me losing weight. So that's kind of interesting. Is it 11:30 yet? Nope. Speaking of picky, this load, normally I don't do late nights like this, but got to do what you got to do. I hope so too, TJ. At the rate I'm going, I think I'm suspicions that the pallet scale that I use to weigh myself at the truck show might be off a little bit. Couple other, and but I took it at face value, so 290, but I'm floating between 280 and 290 right now. I'm under 300. That's the important part. Kaislin said it was off. TJ says I would stick to what your home scale says. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to be that guy though. I'm like, well, it says 290, but I know I'm 280, so that scale's wrong. That the whole point was the Little Viking coach put the challenge out to do a Gats to Mats thing, and I did it. And there are people that blame being a truck driver for being overweight, and while that's a big, myself included, but I'm trying to prove that you can lose weight with, as a truck driver. But the weight loss is just a side effect of how I feel. But yeah, Big Tex, I agree with you. Anyway, notes it's just today. Allergy season is upon us, so that must mean it's almost spring. Do spinach, salmon, carrots, then grated almonds, a little bit, light dressing. Yeah, I mean, I'm eating pretty healthy. One of the things I snack on is pecans, or as Harold calls it, pecans. I really don't snack that much, though. So... I think that's the biggest challenge is once you get over the mindset that you can lose weight out here, then I think it becomes a little bit easier. The physical can change the mental. A lot of people think you have to change the mental to change the physical. It's the other way around. People ask me how I have this willpower to do what I do, because there's no temptation there. It's kind of like if you've got lung cancer, are you still tempted to smoke? It's, I mean, I know that's kind of extreme, but I'm really not tempted. I think the hardest part is you're kind of a freak. Somebody orders 10 pizzas and someone has to order you wings, and I want to thank Anthony Blackbeard and Kemosabe for doing that for me. And I believe Kaislin and Provost with the Little Caesars, they did the wings for me as well. I'm all chickened out though. Air Vaquero, I'm 6 feet even. If you can lose 50 pounds, you'd be happy. Well, it can be done. Sunflower seeds. I used to be I used to be that guy, and I got away from seeds, corn, certain nuts, because I was reading up on diverticulosis, or whatever it's called, diverticulosis, after Pale Rider had gotten that, and I just don't digest that stuff well. But I remember being a total sunflower seed guy. Seeds are good in small quantities. Things about the way I eat is I don't snack that much. Charles Anderson, for me, it was not about weight loss, but pain reduction. I hyperextended and sprained my back in high school, and now doing keto, it does not hurt as much. Charles, that's a good point you brought up. I have a friend of mine that got off keto for 10 days. And before he got off his keto, before he went keto, he had joint pain. And when he went keto, that joint pain went away. And then it came back when he was off of it. part of the health benefits of a low carb, high fat style is that inflammation goes down. And I know that firsthand. My ankle doesn't bother me hardly anymore. I think people thought I was nuts at the truck show because I was trying to tell Kevin, I was literally jumping up and down to show him how much energy and how good I felt after a full day of walking at the truck show. I mean, I can't really express how much better I feel since I've been on this eating style. And there's just absolutely like no temptation, you know? But inflammation, I mean, there's no way I would have been able to do as much of the show as I, you know, at 378 pounds with the inflammation, you know. Oh, you keep a lot of meat in your fridge, freezer? Yeah. You have to stay healthy ratio. It's not 1965 anymore. The average male is not 5'10", 165 pounds, right? So Charles brings up a good point. You know, I had another friend that was able to get rid of his blood pressure medicine because he started eating that way. But, you know, I know people get kind of sick of me talking about it. So, you know I annoy people with it. A certain YouTuber told me that flat out. Which I get it, but you know, when you're excited about something, you know, you want to spread the knowledge. This thing won't auto feed. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We talked about rates, talked about survival, we talked about weight. I believe there's 3 people in our Zella group that have done they're doing a weight loss challenge, which is cool. That's what I was trying to put out in my video about, you know, you don't have to go full-blown keto. What works for me may not work for you. Every little bit helps. You know, if you're drinking 7 sodas a day, go to 1. If you eat pizza 3 times a week, do it 1 time a week. You know, maybe do no carbs or no grains or sugars for 5 days of the week instead of, or, you know, for, you know, like only do that on the weekend, something like that. I'm doing a modified Atkins diet. I eat seeds, low carb wraps, but my biggest vice is sweet tea. Trucker's Table. I've got a solution for that tea. There is a substance out there called monk fruit. MONKFRUIT. Also known as erythritol. ERYTHITOL, something like that. That is a 1-to-1 ratio. Acts, looks, feels, tastes just like sugar. There's no aftertaste. There's no, you know, there's no chemically, that's not even a word, chemical taste to it. Use that to sweet your tea. Stevia works good too, but you got to do it in small quantities. And boom, you're good to go. How about life? Elizabeth McCarthy, what about life? Not sure of your question. You'll have to change your YouTube handle, Steve. Once you lose the weight, that snore will go away. That's, you know, that's kind of true. I've had sleep apnea all my life before I was heavy. And then I had surgery, which I believe it took care of it mostly, but then as I gained weight, it came back. if I get down to 200 pounds, I will probably try to get another sleep study done to see if I still even need to do it. Because if I can get off the whole 1-year medical card and CPAP compliance thing, that would be awesome. But I will always be the Snore Lord. Had company ask me if I use CPAP machine. Yeah, it's common. Trucker's Table, the Gold Peak Diet Tea is plenty sweet, low, no carbs, no sugar, in my opinion. I think that the biggest challenge is not, like, for example, if you're a habitual eater, like if you're always eating something every 2 hours, that could be one of the biggest challenges, is if you're always eating, you don't know what to do with your free time. That was one of the first things that I figured out when I started to do the 16 to 24 hour fast, was what do I do when I'm at the docks? What do I do in a situation like right now where I know I'm going to sit for 2 hours before I get my dock door? I go live. Why? Because I'm bored, you know. It used to be I would eat. If I was sitting at a dock, I ate. If I was bored while driving, had nobody to talk to, I would eat. If I was stressed, I would eat. I gained a lot of weight when I was at Landstar because I was sitting too much and worried about too many things. I ate out of guilt. I ate out of habit. You know, every morning I had to get up and look at see what breakfast burritos they had and that kind of thing. And so I really kind of had to look deep inside myself and figure out when I was eating out of just boredom or stress. You know, I wasn't eating out of necessity. And when you're a person that eats every 2 hours, man, that's a challenge. And I was that guy. I still am to a certain point. You know, I had a little bit of a late snack, you know, after I shut down here in the staging area. Wilbur says biggest factor for weight loss is calories in, calories out. I agree with that. I'm okay when I'm sitting. It's when I'm driving I eat. Yeah, and that's where there were times when I would like bring salad mix and eat that like potato chips going down the road. And the problem with that is if you're used to eating going down the road and you don't have anything healthy to snack on, what are you doing? Now, I will say the Loves and Pilot, and you know, they're really good about having the cups of vegetables, you know, but TA is starting to get on board with it. Hell, even the Choctaw Casino truck stop there in Durant, they had some healthier options now. So it's catching on. But it's hard, you know. You can only eat broccoli and baby carrots for so long before you get sick of it. But every little bit helps. You know, instead of snacking on chips, snack on vegetables. You know. All right, TJ, you have a good night. What time is it over there? Like 8:40, right? 8:40 or 9:40? Yeah, I'm yawning myself. I'm not used to being up that late. This late. 9:40. That's a good time to go to bed. I'll sleep good tonight. I'm still struggling adjusting the insulin so I don't go too low. Just want to get to where I don't need it. Congrats on your progress, man. Well, thank you, Big John. Fried corn nuggets, a vegetable? No. You know, a while back I tried some of that fried corn that Chester's had. Man, I about gagged. Low board starts hopping in 0500, 0600. TJ, are you having good luck booking the same day? Charles brings up a really good point. He says, I used to tell my wife to burn more calories and eat whatever she wants, but now I see it's more about the carbs. When you eat a high carb diet, it's harder to restrict calories. So you feel deprived. And when you don't feel good about something, it's hard to stay on it. And there was a time where I looked at when did I start gaining weight? I started gaining weight in my senior year in high school. And mind you, I stayed average build until probably, I don't know, my mid-20s, early 30s. And I thought it was because I stopped riding BMX, and I thought it was because I was driving, and, but, I went to regular high school in the morning, vocational school in the afternoon, and once I started driving myself, I could stop wherever I wanted to get lunch. I had a lot of money in the bank, so money wasn't a problem. And that's when I started consuming a lot of convenience store crap. And I stopped watching, how many chips I ate or how many Twinkies and stuff like that. And that's when my weight gain really started. I thought it was because I stopped riding bikes and wasn't exercising enough to burn it. But no, it was because I started eating more junk food. My dad was always good about healthy food. Every day we had a salad. Every day we had a salad. And there were times when we had, fried foods or whatever, but for the most part, my dad, he was a heavy guy before he went to Vietnam, and then he lost a lot of weight, and he always kept it off, even as a truck driver. And we ate pretty healthy. We didn't keep a whole lot of junk food, and back then junk food like chips and soda was more expensive, so it was more of a luxury or a one-time thing, whereas now it's like you can buy, a bag of Doritos or a salad, you're going to spend less money on the Doritos. It used to be the other way around. Heart attack in a sack, right? So if you are trying to exercise massively while still trying to eat, it's like the calorie thing is a little bit true, but like, for example, if I eat 1,800 calories, if I eat 2,000 calories in a day and it's full of high carbs, it's hard to stay at that number because you're hungry, and that's an insulin reaction. Whereas if I eat 2,000 calories of a low carb, high fat diet, I felt like I've had 2 Thanksgiving dinners. And so there is a calorie reduction in what I'm eating because I'm eating less. I'm eating less often. Not because I'm restricting things, but just because it's naturally happening, if that makes any sense. We're almost to an hour. We'll do this for an hour and then we'll call it. Unless some subject comes up. Water. I weighed 10 pounds, 10 ounces when I was born and just went straight up from there. 200 pounds in the 5th grade, but playing football leveled me out around 250 when I graduated high school. I can't remember large and extra large shirts. I found an old concert shirt, my old Striper t-shirt. I believe it was an extra large, and there's no way I can wear it now. But I would like to I would eventually like to get into an extra large shirt. Right now I can get into 3X. I went from 4X to 3X. When I can get it back into 2X, there's a bin of t-shirts I can open up that are mainly concert shirts. I can't wait to do that. Cat Turner House coffee, so. But it doesn't matter what you do, whatever you do. Water tastes like crap. As long as you're doing something. Because I honestly believe that I think I've got it. Let's see if I can find the email. Bear with me. If you're just listening, not watching, I'm still here. Let's see. Oh, I can't access the email on this phone. Anyways, they're wanting to do a study for the next 5 years in regards to trucker health. So I want to say it was FMCSA. So I think that the government is starting to recognize that health is becoming a big issue with us truck drivers. Walk the dog. Yeah, I mean, getting a dog, that'll keep you out of the truck or get you out of the truck. Every little bit helps. But face it, when you're 400 pounds, you know, going for a walk. Now, someone commented on, see if I can find that comment. Jim Dango commented, instead of one 30-minute walk, do 3 10-minute walks after meals. This is much easier to fit in and more effective. Exercise is the most important factor for improving health. Diet is a close second on health, but it's most effective way to change body composition. You're doing great, but shortchanging yourself without doing exercise as well. And I appreciate that comment, Jim, if you're watching. And I do plan on starting that. I can't wait to get home and get on my bike and see what that feels like now. So I haven't been on a bicycle for, I don't know, since 70 pounds ago. So I can't wait. I love riding a bike. What do you use to clean dishes in truck? I assume you do a lot of cooking in the truck. I have not found a good solution yet. Charles, I use a lot of disposable stuff. Lysol makes these like in a scrub. I use that to kind of wipe dishes out, but for the most part I use paper plates, paper bowls, plastic silverware. When I cook, it's either in the microwave in its own package, or it'll be in the lunchbox cooker, which I've got aluminum pans for that with aluminum foil. You know, you go through a lot of disposable stuff. I do have a few glass dishes in here to heat stuff up with, but paper towel, you know, the scrubby wipes, and water. I carry at least I carry at least 3 gallons of water. you know, and use that to rinse things out, wipe things out. I have to have water for my CPAP machine, so I've always got bottled water. And so that's what I do. I used to have a skillet in here. I got tired of it, but when I had it, I wiped it out with a paper towel. Basically, when I was done cooking whatever, I pour some water in there, let the water kind of heat up, and then rinse it out and wipe it out. When I did a crock pot, I used the plastic bags, to, you know, the liners. That helped. When I did a George, now here's another trick. If you do the little tiny George Foreman grills, what I would do is I would take foil and put it on each side of the George Foreman grill. So I was heating, you know, the piece of meat just like you normally would, but then, you know, then I didn't even have to wipe it off because that can get kind of like scrubbing a George Foreman can be kind of tedious in the truck. 4 more inches and I'll have taken a foot off the length of my waist. Awesome, Big John. I had to leave Ducky at home this week. He has a vet appointment and I was supposed to go to Cab's class. Michael M., what's up? I have 2 coffee pots, micro toaster oven, crock pot, NutriBullet, 24 by 14 griddle, and my fridge. That's a lot of stuff. I know that Salty Pirate's got a griddle. He's got one of those, you know, copper griddles. But my problem is space. You know, I used to be that guy that had all that stuff too, except toaster oven. I've never done that. But why do you have 2 coffee pots? I just now noticed that. I just have one. You know, I'm not a Keurig guy. So I got the little tiny like hotel room size pot, you know, that will fill this. It literally fill this cup and a little bit more, like 24 ounces is about what it does. One for coffee, one for tea. Interesting. Now for tea, what I do is I'll just go in the truck stop and fill the cup, the Yeti cup full of water, hot water from the coffee machine. And then I'll throw the tea bag in there. That's pretty cool, especially in the wintertime when I don't want too much coffee. But I want something warm, so I'll do the hot tea. I like hot tea. And you know, I'll do coffee. I don't, you know, Trucker Jim he does the butter and the coffee thing. I don't do that. I do heavy whipping cream or nothing. I do black coffee. But ice cold sweet tea. I'm a Southern boy. Yeah. Do you drink hot chocolate? No. Too many carbs in hot chocolate. Besides, that put me to sleep. Air fryer and hot water kettle. Yeah, those are good ideas. I like toaster oven better than lunchbox oven. I've become kind of a lunchbox oven master. I was never brave enough to use the toaster oven because I always heard it was hard on the APUs. You know, like it, you know, unless you had a 3,000 watt inverter. So I never really got into them. You know, I've got my microwave and I've got my lunchbox cooker, and that's good enough for me. Lunchbox cooker is mainly for raw meat, so I can get away from the processed meats. But I'll do vegetables in it every now and then. Water tastes It's old. Oh well, no expir. Oh, there's the expiration date. Well, it says, 2020. Trucker's table says I have a 1200 watt toaster oven and a 1000 watt microwave. Wow, that's heavy duty microwave. I've got the small $49 Walmart special. I think it's like 700 watts. All right, Trucker for Life. Have a good night. I've heard of that. Dad just wrapped it on foil and throw it in the engine. Yeah. I did fish and Brussels sprouts and toaster oven for me and my son tonight. Oh, cool. How's your son liking the road, man? How's he doing? You picked some really good loads for that. I was surprised you were able to find them. I didn't see a whole lot of long haul at Schneider. Not coast to coast like what you're doing. Oh, good deal. I think the last time my son went on the road with me, his face was in the phone almost the whole time. Novelty had worn off. He used to love being in the truck with me. Or a lot easier. All right, we're a little over an hour. I gotta start, thinking about heading over to the dock door. And that's going to be kind of my saying. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And, if you got any questions about, like I said, I'm not a health guru, but I can definitely help on some of the mental tricks it takes to kind of change your, it's all about changing your perception of what food is and what it's doing to you. It's a mindset. Once it becomes a mindset, it's easy. But thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys helping me kill some time. And if you're out there running the night, be safe. Keep your head up. Keep your chin up. Have gratitude. I think we're going to be okay. So, thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys.